Hey guys, Palm Mute Addict here, and I'm going to show you the final part of the build first, and then I'll go into what the build is. But this is kind of like a Victoria movement speed, Victoria Swarm build. You'll notice I have 9 people on the field, which is kind of nuts. We have lots of money in the coffers, and we are in uh, Chapter 12, Phase 15, Normal, okay? So this is going to be crazy. We're going against all these clowns. And this is what's going to happen. I got a Victoria, be it double powered by some Lunaires. I got some Behemoths with pushback. I have a Estia with pushback, and I have a single Bargery to just kind of give everybody some love constantly. So let's do it. So, are you guys seeing this? Yeah. Yep. Now, the fight against the boss is a little less impactful because the boss doesn't move as much. But it's still kind of crazy. And yes, I am giving Audrey these attack speaks. I want mana to be flowing. We should be getting 200 MP per second given to all the people. So I'm not going to bother spending. Let's just roll. Yeah, it's kind of broken. Now the damage isn't going to be very high because her damage requires her to knock things back. So, but this should give you some kind of idea. That initial burst damage that you saw was 600,000 in the first second of the fight. So, definitely not great for raid because the boss doesn't move. But the burst damage is so crazy, and I'm testing this as kind of a response to. I personally have to farm like terribly in order to keep doing these videos, so I'm farming this. With this anyway, this is in response to Victoria being named S tier by King Knob's channel. Of course. We're gonna blow up here. So while this is rebooting, yeah. So he made Victoria S tier, and I was like, I don't really use Victoria that much. I mean, I did in the early days, but there's just so many heroes to use. That Victoria kind of fell off. I mean, Dandelion came out, and I was using Victoria as a tank, which I have deep regrets about right now, considering what I just saw. So, the build, you're going to laugh at the build, because I do not have my relics polished in a way where the build is going to be any good, but we could talk about it in theory. Yeah, look at this. I'm sorry. It's rainbowy up here. But the build is Victoria using Rampage. I have Axe Legacy for attack speed, though I think that was a mistake. I think I need attack. So everything is built on this mechanic, which increases her attack damage by 500%. So the more often we can make her trigger that, the better. I'm using Steel Set just for sustain. Like, we are really early in this build. But obviously getting her attack up is important. But everything is going to be based on movement speed. So every time she moves a block, she regains 40 MP. She's got a lot of MP. So that basically means she needs to walk 3 blocks in order to refill her MP. That just isn't enough. I really wish that her max MP was 80, but then she would be SSS tier. So we're not going to do that. Which is why you saw my Bargery on the field, because Bargery's going to keep rebuilding this. Another thing is that she doesn't knock back, but she needs to be moving. Then Rampage gives a scale. So 1% final damage to her skill every 2 movement speed that exceeds 225. So her base movement speed is 150. And so the game is going to be, we need to stat stack attack, and we need to stat stack movement speed. Nothing that I'm aware of, underline, asterisk, in the accessory pool and in the relic, the legacy pool that I have seen gives movement speed. So your movement speed is only going to be based on, I think she gets, does she give herself a little movement speed? Yeah, movement speed increases by 30% upon reaching the target. And you see how that number is in yellow? I think that means that it scales. I'm actually certain that it scales based on her level, which I would have to look up the wiki for her. All right, so here is her wiki, and we'll ignore all this. What we care about is movement speed increases. So 30%, 45%, 60%. So at her, not necessarily 5th tier, but supposedly 5th tier, it does increase her movement speed. So her movement speed is going to be affected by her tier. So that's important. Also, her pushback is affected by her tier as well. So those are 2 things that we really care. So we really need her like tier 3 as fast as possible. Though I don't think that's how this crap works. I think it might be bronze, silver, gold. Yeah, that is how this shit works. Okay. So at silver tier, she'll be at 45. So most of the time she's going to be at 45. Most of the first 11 rounds, you'll have her at 45. And then if you're lucky enough to get her silver, it gives her another 15% movement speed. So stacking movement speed, it's arbitrary, because it's like you need the movement speed, but then the movement speed contributes to this 500% attack damage, right? So everything compounds. Long story short, it's all about that big ass swing. That big ass swing is crazy. We're not doing Valiant Dash because I think it's, Rampage is where it's at. Rampage is where your burst damage is. So with that being said, we're gonna just have to increase her Rampage. I'm doing attack speed and 50% additional damage to enemies below 50 HP. That is strong. The attack speed helps build her MP faster. So that's where I'm at. I mean, if you look at all the other potential legacies out there, and I'll just do rare legacies. Potentially Hammer of Judgment gives you plus 40% attack, and then helps heal other people a little bit, and you get an additional 20% damage dealt. So, man, maybe Hammer. So, like, Hammer could also be good. Man, that's tough, right? That's tough. So, 40% of 100, so it's 140. Hold tight. So let's calculate our burst damage. We are at 106, and this I'm gonna actually change to Hammer. I feel like that is the smarter move. Okay, we're gonna get more sustain also, which I think is important, especially if I have more than one Victorias on the field, which is kind of the plan, is to have a charging cavalry, which is kind of cool. So that being said, I'm going to increase by 40% attack. So that means we're going to have her 106 and then we're going to go to 40% increase. So that puts her attack at tier, let's say tier 5, at around almost 1,000 attack by tier 5. It's 700 attack, 607 attack by 2-star or tier 4, right? So if I can stack on top, now of course we're not also calculating 40% from Dominion. If your endgame Dominion gives you that additional 40%. So I have, why is Ray being calculated in my Dominion? I don't know, but Enrath will give it a flat 10, which is pretty cool. Anyway, we're at 19.4%, so that's 39.4 for Dominion. Your Dominion might be different, but I am definitely leaning on my Dominion. So that gives me 79.4. So my attack is steadily going up. So now I have to deal with my relics. And so I really don't have a lot. Honestly, none of my relics are doing any attack. But these are the relics that I'm currently using for my build. We have Mace. Mace does pushback, which again is important for Victoria because so she can move, and she moves, she generates MP. And then we have pushback and stun with Spiked Log. So in order to do this build correctly, I would need, and most importantly, combat boots gives you 40 to 100%, 120% based on move. And it only does 3 blocks. So if she moves 1 block, it's 40% movement and speed increase. If she moves 2 blocks, it increases her movement speed by 80. And if she moves 3 blocks, it does her movement speed increase by 120. Okay, so we're going to calculate all that also, which is crazy. So we'll cross that bridge, but this exists. So right now, my Victoria is only getting a sweet 8%. So we're going to call it 87.9%. So I'm at scrub level. That's okay. Scrub level is still pretty good. The next thing that has to happen is I need to basically look at that attack damage. This is my attack damage, and times that by 5,000. 500, excuse me. So I'm going to essentially I'm going to add a row to the left. We're going to do equals this times 5. So that represents my initial Whiterun damage. Okay? And now I need to, on top of that, I need to start calculating movement speed on top. So without the movement speed bonuses, Whiterun's doing 1,000 damage out of the gate, right? And we're looking at 16,000. But this is like the beginning. We still have so much more damage to calculate. So now what we have to pay attention to is movement speed. 2% final damage. So it's that number on top of dealt by Whiterun for every 4.25 movement speed that exceeds 150. Oh my math. Okay. So I need to, in order to understand 8, I need to understand what my final movement speed is going to be. I think, man, we haven't added Lunaire to the mix yet. Oh my god. All right, you know what? I'm a liar. Hi. I'm going to just calculate 1 Lunaire. So Lunaire is going to add an additional, let's call it 69 attack. Just 1 Lunaire, okay? So let's go back to our spreadsheet of justice, and we're going to add another 69, goodness, 69 attack, so 8T plus 6, 9. So now my attack is, oh my god, don't do it. So now we're at 156 increased attack. And I'm going to put more than one Lunaire on her, but we're not going to talk about that right now. Which means that my Whiterun damage at like tier without any attack speed multipliers is 8,923. So, okay, we're going back. She will give an additional 20% movement speed, giving plus 20% movement speed to the target. So that's 20% movement. I'm going to act as if Victoria was able to do all 3 steps, okay? So that means that we're going to get another 120% movement, right? And man, now what's tricky is that she gets movement speed based on her tier. While in unmounted state, movement speed increases by 30%. But that is after Whiterun triggers. So I'm not going to calculate that in the initial burst, but that does help with the second burst, right? Mounts her horse. Oh no, she uses right one right away. Mounts her horse and obtains. So I wonder if that gets calculated immediately. Oh my god, this is crazy. So minimum 30, maximum 60, right? According to the Wiki of Justice, which I don't even know where the Wiki is. It's gone forever. So yeah, that's freaking crazy. All right, and then we have Rampage. 1% final damage dealt for every 2 movement speed that exceeds 225. So let's calculate 8 first. So we are going to increase her movement speed with Lunaire, boots, and let's just call it tier 1. We're just going to do tier 1 damage right now, and this will go up even higher than that. So that's going to be that totals out to 170. So 150 times 1.7. So it's an additional 255 on top of the 150. Yes, sirree, Bob. So we're at 405. We're at 405. So 405 is our movement speed. And then this basically says for every 4.5 movement speed, I wonder why I never played Victoria. Because I didn't want to do any of this fucking math to figure her out. For every 4.5 movement speed that exceeds 150. So, minus 150 divided by 4.5, 56 ticks of 2%. So 56 ticks of 2%. So our build currently will max her out at 100% additional damage, final damage. Okay? So number 8 by itself, we're going to go to the spreadsheet, and we're going to call this, oh my god, insert one column to the left, final damage. Final damage. Alright? And it's going to be equals this times 2. So it's 100%. 100% is times 2. Good. Alright. So, her number 8, level 8 boost, is going to do the final damage plus 2. Now we need to go look at the next one. So, that gives a max of 150. So we're going to go back to our Control Z. There's no Control Z, dudes. I think it was 405. 20 plus 30 plus 120 170 plus 1. I think I'm a liar. 20 plus 30. Let's see. 20 plus 30 plus 120 plus 150. So we're at 320. I think I'm screwing something up somewhere. Yeah, I think it was 405 was where I was at. 405 was my movement speed after everything was being considered. I don't remember why, but I'm going to go with it. So that means that I have to look at my other final damage. This gets plus 1% final damage by Whiterun for every 2 movement speed that exceeds 225. So minus 225 and divide it by 2. So we're going to get another 90 just from this. And so we're going to go back to the spreadsheet. This becomes 2.9. Correct. That's 100%. I believe. That's how math works. So now our burst damage is, our top tier burst damage is 66,000. And, oh my god. Now I get to add this increased by another final damage of 60. So that brings us to 3.5. I should do it right here. 3.5. Can you please? Please, sir. Alright. And now we look at mace. I mean, I don't know if we calculate mace, but we can calculate mace. Enhances the next normal attack of all heroes every 7 seconds. So this is a normal attack, so I'm not going to calculate that. That's just going to happen with the swing. Not a big deal. Now we add Estia. So we're going to be adding 160 of Estia's attack, which is 200 attack, whenever she does Spreading Flame. So technically, we're going to be flickering, like in and out. The number's going to be going up and down. We're going to be flickering this stat number. Yeah, we would apply to the stat number. Increases the base stats, or is it the damage? Okay. No, it's just her flat damage on top. So, I mean, I'm not even going to count that. So it's just her damage on top of their damage. It doesn't actually boost stat. So, not as good. She's here for the pushbacks more so. So that number does not multiply because we're not actually affecting the attack damage, right? So, are you doing anything to do buffs? You're giving grants spell power protection. You're just doing protection, right? Okay. So theoretically, our final burst damage is like $50,000 for 6, 31,000. But I think it's higher than that. This is crazy. So Victoria is definitely interesting. So it looks like the tier 7 highest burst damage, unless my numbers are screwed up. Oh, no, they're not. They're good. Because we're going up by that. It's pretty high. So let's see it in action one more time. So I happen to have 20. We're going to do another normal. And let's look at that burst damage. That burst damage is crazy. Yeah, let's just run it. So, my build, you kind of saw it before, but I'm trying to get multiple Victorias in the field. And I don't know how viable this is going to be in Chapter 13, but I feel like this is extremely viable in Arena. Okay. I'm going for Victorias if I can get them. Okay, so I have a tier 2. So my build is really stick Estia up here and Victoria as far back as humanly possible. So my prediction, based on my spreadsheet, is that her burst damage should be 8k, right? 8k, but that's not with Lunaire. So without Lunaire, it's going to be a little less. It's going to be like 6k. All right, let's find out. 17,000? There's something else multiplying it? So I am off, dude. I am off by 10,000. There's something else. 15,000, 16,000. There is something else affecting the damage that I have no idea what it is. I have no idea. 15. And so it's okay. I'm actually pretty close when she doesn't run like a mile. So it's my build is a couple of these guys in the front line, sure, and let's keep rolling and keep stacking. I don't want to put attack. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. The numbers are the numbers. Dude, look at that, 16,000 damage. What does tier 3 look like? Like I'm sort of like. Okay, so we jump to tier 4. We jump to tier 4. My horrible math puts her at 20,000. I see 20,000. But I think it was 16,000 there. It didn't do much of a difference. Let's see. Let's look one more time next round. I'm even giving her swords too. I need to give my Estia some max out her DP, her attack speed to 210%. Throw my first Lunaire up and get her gold. Okay, so I'm predicting my gold has her at 31,000. She just did 76,000. She did 76,000. She did 76,000. Holy crap! I am so off. I just really wonder what it is that's doing it. Is it? It can't be that it's. I wonder what's doing that. Dude, 76. Oh, dude, her movement speed is multiplying by her tiers. So I wasn't calculating the 60. At the very least, this now goes to 4.7. All right. Yeah, so she does give herself that movement speed. Okay, so I'm closer. Like, I'm closer, but I don't know what's that. What's the extra? Did I not add the legacy in? Maybe. No, I did add the legacy in. What in the hell? So 76,000 burst damage with 30,000 with after a pushback. you're probably, if you guys know, you're probably like, this guy's a fucking moron. Yeah, so definitely crazy. I'm gonna give staff just for some more protection, more sustain for boss later, and I'm gonna. I have to expand twice. 91,000 with staff. Oh, Ryan added staff. Wait a minute. Did the spell damage multiply? Is spell damage a factor? Oh my god. $91. And we're, because of these damn guys, 54,000. The Panthers are going to be a pain. They're actually going to stop us from seeing our calc. There's no Panthers here, though, so let's do it. See if I can see 91 again. 91. Yeah, I obviously have very loose understanding as to where her damage is coming from. So she's doing 91 with a far sprint, and she's doing like 30,000 with a close sprint. I mean, she is getting... So our attack is at... Maybe I'm just a moron. Maybe because it's all the attack bonuses that we're getting. Because her attack is really, really high right now. Like, her attack at 5. We're at 1,132 attack. No. That would be... It calculates based on here. Wow, dude. I don't know what the hell's going on underneath the hood of this game. This is nuts. So this is where Victoria kind of sucks, is that if she gets stuck and she can't run, she doesn't have any DPS. So that's why that's where she needs support. She needs somebody else doing DPS in the background, or somebody else pushing around. So we're just going to start building the rest of our builds here. It's going to be 2 Victorias, double Lunaire, and I honestly, sometimes if I have nothing but armor, I'm putting it on these two. We do attack speed here. This. Okay. So, here comes more burst. 7,000 short. The damage is so high. 50,000. Random 50,000. Backswing. Going in for a third. Dude. Yeah. So, like, her burst damage is so high that even the 2 second tier Victoria by herself is doing insane levels of damage. So you almost kind of just like, you want like 3 of them on the field. It's crazy. And Estia is keeping our guys alive, and she's providing pushback in that little extra bonus attack. So I really feel like that I'm not in my altars. I don't have any healing, so I definitely think I need her. I'm getting protection here. Bardry is supplying mana, which means these guys are going to keep popping proc. So like I feel like this team is very necessary for sustain. So let's keep going. Biggest damage so far was 85 because things keep getting in my way. Alright. Let's keep it going. Guys, this damage is ridiculous. 108,000 crit. I haven't honestly been even considering crit as an option. But yeah, why not? If you can get her crit to maybe 70%, so it's reliable. That might make up for the fact that you lose all the sustain from Steel Set. But you know what, though? There's so much pushback. That, like, I don't even know if you need to sustain as much. There's so much brain pain right now. The brain pain is real. So fighting the boss, that's where we are not the best. But we did sustain. Let's see what the first 3 seconds of damage is. 1 million. 1 million damage in under 3 seconds. And then at a subsequent 1.5 mil in the remaining time. Or 1.6 mil in the remaining time. Okay, so if you want to do 1 million damage in 4 seconds, that's how you do it. And we're not even fully built, and I don't even know what I'm doing. So if we max these relics out, we get real stats and real equipment on her. Arguably, I could see her doing 2.5 mil or higher in the first 3 seconds of the fight. That is incredible. That is absolutely incredible. I don't know where to go from here. I'm gonna have to like walk through my math again. Oh, dude, the other 20% of damage. I didn't calculate that. She was healing her other her other Victorias. I don't think I calculated any of these stats in there, even though they're garbage stats, they do contribute. Oh man, there's menace to think about. My gosh. Okay, I'm back. I'm ending this video. If I confused you worse than I helped you, I apologize. But Victoria is broken. My spreadsheet is useless when trying to figure out what's going on. If you watch this entire video and you know where I went wrong and what damage I was missing, let me know. How the hell did she do almost 2x the damage that I guessed she would do? All right. Talk to you soon.